What's going on, peeps? It's your boy SVH coming at you with today's bowl of Saki by Hazrat Nayahan for August 1st. Understanding makes the trouble of life lighter to bear. Understanding makes the trouble of life lighter to bear. And I'm going to share a little commentary from Murshid first on this, and then I might have a few comments to add. But Murshid says, "We often suffer because we do not understand. Many conditions and many people are difficult to tolerate because we do not understand them. But once we understand, we can tolerate almost anything." I'm going to pause there because I'm really struggling with this one today. There's some things about my day that I'm just not understanding. Certain conditions that I got thrown into today. I'm not really understanding the logic behind them, but at the same time, I do understand the nature of it. So I don't understand the reasoning and the logic, but I understand the nature, and the nature is really the true reality of it, right? So I guess this one kind of took me to task a little bit today, because once we understand, we can tolerate almost anything. And today I couldn't tolerate much of anything. I was really just frustrated. A lot of things compounded on me today, different situations that I was thrown into. And it was not easy. And I was looking for that lighter load, but I didn't have the understanding to get there today. So inshallah, I'll get better at this one. All tragedy of life, all misery and inharmony are caused by one thing, and that is the lack of understanding. Lack of understanding comes from lack of penetration. The one who does not see from the point of view from which he ought to see becomes disappointed because he cannot understand. It is not for the outer world to help us to understand life better. It is we ourselves who should it is we ourselves who should help ourselves to understand it better. What a great thing is understanding. It is priceless. No man can give greater pleasure to his fellow man than by understanding him. The closest friend in life is the one who understands most. It is not your wife, brother, or sister. It is the one who understands you most who is your greatest friend in the world. You can be the greatest friend of God if you can understand God. Imagine how man lives in the world with eyes closed and closed ears. Every name and every form speaks constantly makes signs for you to hear, for you to respond to, for you to interpret, that you may become a friend of God. The whole purpose of your life is to make yourself ready to understand what God is, what your fellow man is, what the nature of man is, what life is. Now, coming to a still greater secret of life, I want to answer the question, how can we grow to read and understand the message that life speaks through all its names and forms? The answer is that as by the opening of the eyes you can see things, so by the opening of the heart you can understand things. As long as the heart is closed, you cannot understand things. The secret is that when the ears and eyes of the heart are open, all planes of the world are open. All names are open. All secrets, all mysteries are unfolded. So understanding is important. It's not just a word about knowing what something means per se. It's a deeper understanding. It's a deeper knowing about not only life, but the situations that you're in, the people that you encounter, the circumstances that you come upon. It's this understanding that helps you to move through it, that lightens the load, that lifts the load a little bit lighter, right? As this one says today. And sometimes it's hard to find that understanding. It's hard to reach in and find that open heart center in the midst of chaos, and it's a challenge. And I find that I approach most everything in life with an open heart. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. But there are times when I'm in situations where I don't see it reciprocated. I don't see understanding on the other end, and that becomes a frustration for me because I want that person to understand. I want that person to know why I'm making the decisions that I'm making, or why I'm have expectations that I have of certain things. And it's that understanding and that knowing what the true nature of it is behind what's being spoken or told in the initial statement that's being made, that sometimes is not understood. And that becomes a frustration for me. It's something where, you know, I strive really hard to be a good leader and a positive leader, to lead by example in life. And sometimes, you know, it just falls on deaf ears, and that becomes a frustration. But there's reasons why those fall on deaf ears sometimes, and sometimes it's on me, sometimes it's on them. But you know, I have to say that this one definitely was very fitting for me today, just with some of the situations that I had to deal with and work through myself. So had to kind of kick back, get out of my head and into my heart, so that I could just calm down and really understand why I was being thrust into some of these situations today. So this is a real life one for me today, and I get these once in a while where every one of them has its merit, and I can always kind of find some thread through my own life. And not that you folks care to hear about me and my life, because that's not why I do these, but I do like to be I do like them to be relatable, and I do like to be honest and upfront. And sometimes, you know, rather than trying to be on here and be a teacher, or someone who's sharing something, I like to share from the heart as well, and share my own experience. And that's what makes these teachings so real for me, is that you experience them. When you find a concept and you experience it in your own life, then it becomes ingrained in you. It becomes part of you, and then that's where that deeper understanding really comes from, because you have the experience to know what it is that is the nature behind that which appears, right? Yeah, those are the thoughts that I have on today's bowl of Saki. So hope you enjoyed that one today, and I'll be back at you again with another one tomorrow.